Hello and welcome back to another web development video. My name is Jesus Guzman from GDev Tech, and in this video I will go ahead and walk you through a simple pug setup for our splash page. So let's get started. Alright guys, so as I stated in my folders towards the end of my folder structure video, make sure you guys rename your .jade files into .pug. As you can see here on my screen, I did that, and I've also created a footer .pug underneath my partials. Now this video is going to seem a little bit strange because right now you guys are seeing .pug, and a little bit later down the video you guys will see .jade. Keep in mind it's always going to be .pug, no .jade, no more .jade. So now here in my index.pug file, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in extends, and I'm going to go ahead and do ./partials/head.pug. And what I'm doing, what I'm calling is I'm calling my head.pug file. So basically whatever I have in my head.pug file, it's extending it over into my index.pug. Remember, we want everything modular, we want everything clean into one file, and that's basically what we're doing here. So extends is basically grabbing whatever's in a file and pulling it over into this index.pug file. Now you can see another element here that I type in, which is block space title. The block element, it's basically saying I can go ahead and overwrite anything within that block element that I called title. Let's see, title of page. Very simple. That way comments are very handy. Just an FYI, just so you guys can understand like word structure, what did this do. And so now as you can see, that block title, I just now begin it to title and do home of splash. And this title, if you open up a new tab, that's whatever's inside that tab, it's going to be your title. That's going to show up. So that's what a title is for any HTML document. So now I did another one that's called block content, and again, anything that has content is going to get overridden. So that's why I did a block content there. And what I'm doing here is I'm including my layout directory splash .pug page. So I'm including, so the difference between an extends and an include is that an include, it's gonna include it all the time. So we're not extending it, we're saying yeah, we need it. It's kind of confusing, and I'll send you guys the reference documentation there. But extends, you're extending another document. Including, you're including a document. So an extends, you can go ahead and make edits to. There you go. That's a little bit easier for you guys to understand. When you extend a file, that means, hey, I can make edits and changes to that file. When you include, that's saying I just want to include whatever's in these files. So we're going to include our splash.pug, and we're also going to include our head.pug. If this is confusing, please let me know. Ask me any questions down in the comments below. More than happy to answer that for you guys. But I'll also put a link for Pug's reference there, so you guys can go ahead and review that. But that's what we're doing. We're including these files. We're including our splash, and we're also going to include our footer .pug file there. So now if we jump over into our head, and this is where it looks a little bit funnier than before because now they're .jade files, but any .jade files is now return to a .pug. So make sure you guys keep that in mind. .jade no longer exists, it's now .pug. So in my head.pug file, I'll just go ahead and create a declaration tag, and every website has a declaration tag. So if I do a .type HTML, you can see on the right hand side it converts it to HTML. So on the right hand side you can see the HTML tag. So what pug does is it makes it very easy for you guys to go ahead and create HTML documents without all those less than, greater than signs. So it's very clean and very easy to read. That's one of the benefits of using pug when creating static sites like this here. And again, anything on the left is pug, anything on the right of that, you have everything in HTML. So you guys can go ahead and take a look at that. Again, I'm using block and I'm doing a title, and my title is going to be called Splash Intro, and you can see the title tag there. So right here I'm going to go ahead and comment out meta tags, and you can see my comments, I don't have to type in a greater, less than sign, exclamation mark, dash dash, and then close it out again. It's very easy. It's just 2 / and then my comment. So I'm going to create a meta tag called character set, and this is char set. And when you create that, make sure you put it within the quotes. So we're going to do a UTF-8, and we're going to do another meta tag, and we'll call this here name, and we'll name it view port and comment or comma content equals width equals device dash width comma initial scale. So equals 1. So this here, this meta name equals viewport content width equals device dash width comma initial scale dash 1. This is basically saying to the site that this is going to be a mobile friendly site. So whoever's on a mobile device, it's going to get the device width, and it's going to make that width scale so it can become mobile friendly. So now I'm going to create 2 more comments here. I'll do a style sheet comment in a JS for a JavaScript comment. Within my body, we're going to go ahead and do another block element, and we'll just go ahead and put content in there since that's where all our content will be. Let me go ahead and jump back up here to my style sheet, and we are going to call our main dot CSS. So to call in a style sheet, we're going to go ahead and type in link, and it's ref for reference, and we're going to reference our assets /CSS /main.css. Now you can say, well, Jesus, where's main.css? Main.css does not exist because we haven't yet compiled main.stylus, which we are going to do in Gulp. And our Gulp video, it's going to be the next video after this here. So don't worry about that yet. Just go ahead and make sure we have main.css there. For our JavaScript, we can go ahead and implement that the same way. However, it's always recommended to put that in the footer, so we won't worry about that here. We're going to go into our footer, and that will give us the incentive to get going on the footer.jade. So within our footer.jade file, that is where we're going to go ahead and begin typing in jQuery, and we'll go ahead and do our script tag, and we'll call in our assets js main.min.js. Again, you guys are probably going to be saying, well, Jesus, we don't have a main.min.js, and that's because we haven't compiled any JavaScripts yet. Like I said, that will be in our gulp file, so let's not worry about that. And now what I'm doing here is these little pipe signs. These are called pipes, and you can do that by holding shift, and it's going to be right below the back button on your keyboard. That is the pipe sign, and it's right next to that forward. I think it's backslash, yeah. So if you hold shift backslash, that is your pipe, and those are the two lines that I typed in there, and I'm closing it off with my HTML tag. So now that we've did our head and our footer, let's start developing our splash.jade page. So let's go into our design, or our mock-up design, also known as high fidelity wireframe, since I did this in Photoshop. And right here we have a background image, we have my logo, we also have some text on this page. Yeah, you guys can't see that, so I'll just keep it all blue. So we'll also have some text, and that's going to be our text there, and that's in the center. And then we have our contact form in the center of the page as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 elements that we're going to be implementing on this site. So we're going to go ahead and start off with our splash.jade page, and we're going to go ahead and type in header, wrap this around a header tag, and a header tag, it's new to HTML5, so we'll just wrap that there. And again, we have HTML on the right hand side, left hand side is pug. So as I'm writing pug, you guys can see the output of how it looks in HTML. So we have our header, we're calling in our image and our assets, image logo.png, and our alternate text. And alternate text means if that image doesn't exist, then what else is going to show up? What's that alternative way of knowing what that's supposed to be? So that's splash page logo is what we're going to go ahead and call it. This also helps if people that are using a read screener, it can tell them, hey, this is a splash page logo. So now that we have that there, I'll go ahead and type in an H1 tag, and the H1 tag, it's basically going to make our text a little bit bigger. So I'll type in, sorry, we have left, but leave us a message, and I'll go ahead and paste my logo within our image directory. Then I'll go ahead and bring up my terminal, and the way that I brought up my terminal is by hitting in Visual Studio Code Control P, and that's going to bring a small little window where you can begin typing. And I'll just go ahead and type in terminal and click on create new integrated terminal. So now that I have done that, I will go ahead and do a npm init, and this npm init, it's going to create a new JSON folder, and this is to get us started into Gulp. Like I said, we have to compile our stylus, and we have to begin compiling our JavaScript. So in order to do that, we have to get our Gulp going. So here, when I do npm init, it's asking me to type in a name. Here, all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna keep it whatever their default is. So I'm just gonna hit enter for name. Version, I'm gonna hit enter, and in the description we can go ahead and type in the splash page, and entry point, I'm just gonna hit enter. Test command, I'll hit enter. Get repository, we'll just hit enter as well if it does come up for you. any keywords that you want to put. You have an author. Like I said, this is where you guys can customize it yourself, but I'm just going to keep it basic, simple, and I'll just hit enter all the way across. So this is just confirming now, hey, does everything look right to you? Yes, it does. I'll go ahead and type in yes. And once I type in yes, it will then create us a package.json file, which you can see populated on the left panel here. And this is our package.json file. So now we have created our Jade setup for our splash page. So on our next video, we're gonna get a little bit down and dirty with gulp. Hopefully this video gives you guys an introductory to Jade. Any confusions, please let me know in the comments below. If you have any other questions, again, my name is Jesus Guzman from GDev Tech. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you next time.